All right. So, week 12. This week, we are going to be working on our final major assignment in this class. It's also our only written assignment, like large writing assignment that we're going to be doing for this class. So, we are focusing on chapter 13. You've got your PowerPoint presentation for that chapter. You have reading check 12, open note, open book, two attempts, and the higher of the two scores is going to be recorded. Discussion board, same as it's been. Original post is going to be due on Thursday, and then your response to two classmates is going to be due by Sunday. For your major assignment this week, like I said, it's going to be a written assignment. So you are going to write a series of mini essays for this project. We're going to be looking at social media and the art world. And we're going to look at a very specific case in which social media, the art world, and ethics kind of collide. And I want to see your thoughts. You're going to be thinking about fair use and how it applies to this case. You are going to need to do research, so you cannot wait until the last minute to start this project. You're going to need to make sure that you have all of your essays broken down by the individual essays. So, like I said, it's a series of short essays, and you're going to be answering these questions down here. These are going to be your five separate essays. For this assignment, you're going to be looking at a case from 2015 in which an artist named Richard Prince opened a show in New York City, and it featured giant screenshots of other people's Instagram photos. These were pictures that he had gone onto Instagram, saved the pictures, and then what he claims was altering them. And his alteration was enlarging and maybe putting a frame around the image. He sold this art piece for, as you can see, quite a bit of money. So then it came into question of well, he didn't ask permission. In fact, most of these people didn't even know their pictures had been taken until this art piece went viral. So where does fair use fall? Where's the gray line? What is the ethics in this? So this is just kind of to get you thinking about ethics within the world of media, and social media tends to be something that most of us interact with daily. So I just kind of want you thinking about fair use, ethics, all that great stuff that falls under something that we interact with very frequently. So you're going to provide a brief description of his work and what made it so controversial. I do have some sources here that you can look at that kind of give you an idea of what it was, but if you also just look up Richard Prince 2015 art piece, you're going to find a lot of information. So do you believe that if it was fair use, why or why not? So that's where it kind of gets tricky because fair use has a lot of gray area in it. So trying to figure out, just, you're going to be the one to decide whether you think it's fair use or not, but then you have to defend why or why not. Do you think it was ethical? Why or why not? This case looks at reuse of casual social media photos. So you want to think about how that impacts you, and then what responsibility, if any, do social media users have to respect copyright of creative works? So it's just to kind of get you thinking about how fair use plays, how copyright plays, how ethics plays into all of these media platforms that we frequently use. Again, it will be broken down into five different mini essays. When you are all done with that, some things that you're going to want to think about, you have to have sources. They should be cited in APA format. There should be at least two. The big thing to think about here, if you just put a website link, that is not citing a source. If you're unsure, Purdue OWL is a great source. Bibme.org, Bibme.org is a great source to also look at to kind of get an idea of what your APA format should be. It can also help you format that. 2 to 4 pages, double spaced, 12-point font, Times New Roman. This is just to give very clear guidelines on what you should have. The big thing with these essays, it should consist of no less than 10 sentences per essay. It should not be one big bulk essay. Again, it should be 5 mini essays, and each of those essays should have around 10 sentences each. If you have any questions about this week's work, please don't hesitate to reach out. And this is when I'm actually really interested to see where you draw that line. Where does the gray line end into fair use and ethics within social media? I hope everybody has a fantastic week.